right, so this is going to be take two actually, because the first one that I tried recording, fortunately, I was not prepared and I did not have the little setup that I have on there. So I'm doing this again, which is, really exhausting. But anyways, guys, so like I promised on my other video, I wanted to show you guys a quick example of what it's like for a person that suffers from mitochondrial myopathy to get up from the ground. That is completely different from all the things you see on TV and movies. I do have my trusty little mat again. That is the Gorilla Grip. I mentioned in my previous video that I am not affiliated by them. I just ended up buying it because it is about 1.5 inches of thickness, which provides some pretty decent foam that really protects my knees. I do have my trusty little knee pads again. So I'm just gonna show you guys a quick example of what it's like to get up from the ground when you have a disability like this. Or I do apologize. I know I mentioned in my other video that it doesn't record the ground because I don't have a trifold or anything like that, and I'm using a little foldable table and I am recording these videos myself. So this is what I got. So first thing I gotta do is flip over like so. And again, I apologize if you see any underwear and all that. Comes with the territory. So now that I'm in this position, what I have to do, because fortunately I have no strength in my hips and my legs and my thighs to push myself up, and I can't just pull myself up from just using my arm strength. I will literally have to launch my whole body into the bed and then get up like so. All right, so I'm gonna do that now. Don't mind the shuffling and all that sounds, okay? So here we go. Okay. And oof. And there we go. And that's basically how someone that suffers from mitochondrial myopathy will have to get up from the ground. So I did do that a lot faster than the original one, but it does take a lot of energy. It does. I feel very fatigued already, and it's just one of those things where, when you fall down, it's never a nice feeling, and it's one of those things that I always dread when I walk around, do anything physical. I just dread having that feeling, knowing that I can fall down potentially, because doing that in my house is, it's pretty difficult as it is. And that's with, the foam mat, that's with, the multiple beds that we have on here where I can launch myself and use as much room as I need. But as we know, that life in general, sometimes the worst possible case scenario can happen. I can fall literally in the middle of a plain area where there's nothing that's there that can be used as leverage. And one of my biggest fear that I actually had a dream about once, because I used to go hiking. One of my biggest fear is going on a hike. I don't know why I would do this to begin with, but just for the sake of my dream, I had a dream that I was going on a hike on a plain desert field and I fell down. And I'm talking about nothing but sand, cactuses, literally nothing. There was no mountains, it was just plain fields, and I fell to the ground with no one in sight, and it was just, plain desert for miles. And that is my biggest fear of that happening. So the whole point of me doing these video vlogs is just to track my progression, see how well I do, and hopefully there comes a point where I'm able to get up from the ground without having to launch my entire body, get to a flat surface. Whether that's gonna ever be possible again, I honestly don't know. I do, believe that, you can accomplish a lot of things if you really set yourself to them, whether biology and science allows that to happen. Only time will tell. But anyways, that's basically the gist of this video. Yeah, so let me know what other things you guys would like me to do. Again, this is more of a channel for to document my journey and everything. But if there's people out there that suffer from the same illness as I do, because I know mitochondrial myopathy is more of a broad term. It's not really the diagnosis. It's just mitochondria just affects a lot of body parts. There's no one size fits all type thing. But yeah, let me know if you guys suffer from the same thing. How do you get up from the ground? And let's share some tips to help one another out, and hopefully I can use some of those tips to help me get up from the ground easier. But yeah, any help is appreciated. And yeah, so again, I appreciate you guys taking the time of your day to watch this video, and I'll see you all on the next one.